Hello, it's Ashley here from Paper&Twine and welcome to another episode of Wing It Wednesday. Now, Wing It Wednesday is hosted by Jenny of Jenny's Crafty Corner, and today I'm going to have a go at this acrylic pour. I bought this from Aldi probably 3 years ago and I don't even know whether it's going to be any good. When I started my YouTube channel before I was Paper&Twine, I did some videos where I showed some acrylic pouring. I haven't done any since then, probably 7 years ago, and I've got no idea whether the paint in this kit is all right or not. What I'm going to do, because otherwise this video I think is going to be a very long video, I'm going to do a little bit of prep off camera in a minute, but let's just open this up and see what we've got inside. So we've got yellow green luminous. It does say to give them a good shake and that these are pre-mixed. Back in the day I used to mix acrylic paint with PVA glue and water to get it to kind of a double cream consistency, and I used to put something in it, some silicone of some kind, to help the paint make lacing or cells. I don't think that this is going to do that because it hasn't got any silicone in it. So we've got turquoise, phthalo turquoise, yellow green, powder blue and silver, little tiny bit of silver. Now, yes, difficult. I have got, it's so hard to remember what to do. I've got a very old roasting tin and you can see that I have used it in the past for acrylic pours, and I found this piece of mount board. It is best done on canvas. I've got some paper cups underneath. In the instructions, it gives you some ideas of the types of pours you're going to do. I think I'm going to do a flip cup pour, and I'm going to, I'm going to just pour some paint in here, and I'm going to start with the dark colour. Oh, if I can get it open. And I want to pretty much, in fact I'm going to use one of these really big cups because you'll also then be able to see the layers. I'm going to need a lot of paint. I've made an executive decision that I'm not going to use this, so I'm going to leave that for another project another day. And I have found some Payne's Grey, I think it is, which is dark, like a bit of dark, and some gold. And I've just poured in a load of PVA glue, probably too much actually. And a good squirt of the paint. And in here, I've got less. You can see that is way too thick. It isn't going to flow. I hope I can be in shot. I'm going to move these out of the way. I'm just going to keep adding water and stirring. The beauty of using these cups is that you can wash them out and reuse them. Muscle memory is coming in to play, but I think I need a little bit more water in there. That may be too much. Now, one of the things I'm going to add to this dark blue, that's too watery now, so we'll put a little bit more paint in. One of the things I'm going to add is some mica, because I would like a little bit of iridescence. Get that off there. Yes, it is a bit messy, this job, so wear clothes that you are not precious about. It still might be a bit too watery, but it's to add a bit of darkness to these pale colours. This definitely needs some water. I'm going to go light with the water. Yes, I'm going to add some mica to that Payne's Grey because I do want a little bit of iridescence. I've got no idea whether my glue is all right. My glue is years old. That is about, from memory, not far off the right consistency. Just a tiny bit more water. Might be too much. Okay, that's quite nice. It'd be interesting to see how thick the pre-mixed paints are. I always think gold and blue look so nice together. So I'm going to carefully take the lid off this and put a little bit. Oh gosh, that has really changed it up. So can you see how that has gone violet in there? Let's give that a stir. Gosh, that has made it quite purpley actually. I didn't think that it would. Maybe I should have used Jade Burst or the White Sparkle. I've got no idea whether this is actually going to do what I want it to do. Now, when you're doing a flip cup, the colour that goes on the bottom of the cup is going to be the colour that comes out. Let me get this right. The colour that you put on the bottom is going to be what comes out on top. So my top layer I want to be dark. So I'm going to put a lot of this pale one in the cup first, giving it a good shake. That's quite a lot of that. I'm going to put a little bit of the dark in. Just a little bit to kind of separate it. Now that is heavier and it is sunk to the bottom. So we'll see what we get. What we get is what we get. As Tim Holtz would say, don't freak to freak. And there's no rhyme or reason to this. I'm just going to pretty much fill up my cup. I need a lot of paint. Now that's interesting how the colours aren't sitting on top of each other. It could be because these paints are so old. Don't know. Let's put a little bit of gold in. Quite excited by this, and I'm glad I'm not wasting a proper canvas. But I should be getting layers of paint, and I'm not. But can you see how I'm getting cells on there? Let's put some of this in. That's quite a lot of that. A bit more gold. Bit more blue. Oh yes, that's really set the cat among the pigeons, as it were. And more of this. Just squirted that all over the table. I'll have a bit more of this. This might be a complete and utter disaster. When I've done flip cups before and I've layered things, it has kind of layered nicely, if that makes sense. I'm just going to get my scrubby old towel that's over here just to wipe up spills as I go. This cup is very heavy. And I still don't know whether I've got enough paint or not. So what I'm going to do now, let's just move these things out of the way. I'm going to bring in this. And put this on as a means for my paint to flow. Do flow nicely. You see I've got some upturned cups, and I'm just going to tilt that so that it covers a lot of my canvas. Oh, I don't know whether I've got enough in here or not. One of the things I am going to do, I've got this WD-40 spray, which has got silicone in it. I'm going to put a little bit in my mix. And I'm just going to, if you're using things like silicone spray, make sure you're in a well ventilated space. And then we're going to lift this off. And we're going to tilt. I've put greaseproof paper down because I could get some nice skins forming that I can use for jewellery or other things. Now you can see that it's really not mixed up very nicely and has gone quite granular. Just get that out there. It could be that my glue is really old. It could be that these paints are really old. It could be that I didn't mix them up well enough. I'm going to do a little bit of judicious adding of gold here and there. I'll just let that tilt all over the edge and go back down. Yeah, a little bit of a hot mess, but do you know what? It has got me thinking, that was actually stuck to that. It has got me thinking I would like to have a go at this again. I'm going to wipe my hands on here. Add a little bit more paint there. Now, one thing I'm going to do, I've got my heat gun. I'm going to just torch with my heat gun. Bit of an epic fail. I am going to leave this aside. It is Monday the 29th as I'm filming this. Hopefully going to load this up on Wednesday the 1st of October. So I'm going to leave this to dry, and it might be that we can do something else with it. I've covered that really naff canvas with paint, and it might be that we can collage over it, save it somehow, but I haven't got any cells forming. I think it is because my PVA is really old. I don't know about these pre-mixed paints. I might have a little experiment with something else and see what's what. But yeah, I will be back on Wednesday morning to show you the results. I did this on Monday. It is now Wednesday, October the 1st, and I'd hoped to get this done today for Wing It Wednesday, but I think it'll have to be for next week's Wednesday because, sorry, lots of shadows, the light is appalling outside. There are some areas that are still very wet, and you can see it hasn't really developed into anything very nice, so we are definitely going to have to do something to make it look nice. So I'm going to leave it for a whole week to dry. It is some time later now, and this is completely dry, and what a mess it is. In one of the previous little clips you saw all this and it looked like rust, and it has gone very, very dull there. There is a little bit of gold shimmer, but it is a hot mess. So we're going to see, what we can do. I've got some ideas and I'm just going to play. I think I'm going to put you on fast forward. We are 24 hours later now. It is actually Wednesday, October the 14th, I want to say 15th. And I do quite like the bits of white. I used far too much paint on the sponge through my stencil in some places, both the gold and the white. But I do like the pops of colour it's added. These really dark muddy bits here I think are from the WD-40. I should have shaken it more or maybe not used it at all. So it's looking very different from it was, you know, when we first started. Some of this collage paper is kind of melted in. That looks quite good there, that identification bit. Too much white here showing through, which is why I went over with the paint. Anyway, after I finished filming yesterday, I die cut out of scraps of black some birds and some foliage because I just felt it needed a little bit of something extra. So we're just closing my door because husband is hammering. So I might not, well, I probably definitely not going to use all of these, but I just feel like it needs a bit more of a focal point. Part of the reason of me putting these leaves on was so that I could have some birds. And maybe black wasn't the best colour to use. Maybe I should have used white or gold even. I quite like that there, him on that little line, looking down as if he's looking at that butterfly, and that didn't go on straight. So we have a cluster of foliage. See, that kind of makes that pop more, and I can always snip that off. Let's get some scissors handy. I've been doing quite a lot of knitting and I've got a really sore bit there. When you are arranging elements, it's always good to do them in odd numbers. I do quite like that, and I do quite like that. Let's just tear a bit of this off actually. Boop. And it can go maybe like that there. I'm gonna have to take my poncho off, I'm really hot. Oh, there we go. What else have I got? That's the same as that. I don't necessarily need to use that again. Have I used you already? Yes, that's that. I don't need to use you again. I don't really want to use you again. Are there any more? Oh, see, I do like this one. Quite like that there, actually. So it's just a question of playing. Have him like that. And if I take that leg off, it's like he's behind that. Or maybe I shouldn't have torn his leg off. I don't know whether I'm making this better or worse. It really is Wing It Wednesday. And thank you so much for those of you that left comments on yesterday's video about, oh, I like that actually. About me, you see, I'm still not getting all my words out. About me feeling a bit off. This one I do like. Have you coming out of there like that? Yes, some lovely comments. And Jenny's Crafty Corner said that Cheese Louise really made her smile and laugh. And your comment really cheered me up, Jenny, so thank you for that. I do really enjoy your comments. I know I don't always get back very quickly. I'm not very good at that, am I? I do try. Do I want any more birds? What are we thinking? Come on, shout at me. I could do with a bird that's kind of looking up to him. What if I turn you up over like that? Have you going that way? That's quite nice, yes. This is the thing, isn't it? Remember that you can use your dies in different directions. And like you with your feet. That way. Have a little bit of a conversation going on there. What about if I turn you that way and have you on that little line? And you that way and have you on that little line. So like you're talking to each other, they're talking to each other, they're talking to each other. If I turn you over, then those are talking to each other. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we need one on his own. Which one are we going to have? Might have you. Oh, that's quite cute there. If I have you on that little line there. So I'm looking for lines. So it looks as if the birds are standing on things. Sorry, this is going to be a very long video. Now, where are you going to go? Those leaves there can just be more in the background, and we can just have a little cluster of foliage coming on here, like so. Quite like that. So it's just a case of playing, isn't it? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to turn the camera off and I'm going to just glue all of these down and come back to you because you've been here for ages already, haven't you? It took a while to glue everything down there, partly because my glue was all bunged up and partly because there's so much texture on this. I've done a bit of kind of overlapping and putting the birds in pairs. I don't know whether I've made it better or worse. I might stick this on the wall in my classroom at school. But I feel like it just needs another little pop of colour. So call me mad. I'm going to... Oh, gosh, I didn't need anywhere near that much. I'm going to have to bring in some card. I'm going to spray a bit hot pink with my fan brush. Got it everywhere. And it's not going to show up particularly well, I don't think. Let's do a little bit here, particularly on the white. I'm going to have to find a what's the word, a use for all this pink off camera in a minute. And I thought a little bit of lime green, just as a pop of colour, because it's all so dark. That turquoise, I would normally like turquoise and gold, but yes, I just need a little tiny bit. I'd forgotten how juicy these Elements Inks by Lavinia are. So if you're interested, that was green parrot, and then the other one was pink elephant. Let's give you a spray. And come in. Green's not going to show up particularly well, so I might just come in with a bit more. And of course, it's not going to show up over the birds, is it? Some white or gold wood. And I've just made a nice muddy colour. This is just going from better to worse. From worse to worse, I should say. I do quite like the pink on the white. I'm stopping there. Here is the finished article. Have I saved it or have I made it worse? Leave your comments down below. Don't forget to go over and give Jenny at Jenny's Crafty Corner a little bit of love. And she's just recently passed 600 subscribers. I'm sure it won't be long before she's at 1,000. Another person I'd like you to go over and check out is Tracy Wellham. She's been uploading regularly recently, and some of her videos are lovely. I'll leave her link down below as well. Anyway, yes, better, worse. Yeah, I don't know, it's a hot mess really, isn't it? Anyway, I'll be back soon with another video. Do take care, everybody. Bye now.